So a person's rage can be triggered by something relatively minor, but all of a sudden this lava flow just explodes out of you. And the difference between healthy anger and suppressing healthy anger is also unhealthy for you. But just as healthy anger expresses itself, does its job, and then it's gone, rage, the more it explodes, the bigger it gets.
We're often taught that expressing anger isn't okay, that it's not spiritual, that good people don't get angry. And honestly, even for me, it can be hard to express it. We've been conditioned to suppress it. But healthy anger is actually a powerful natural response. It's your body, your soul, your inner wisdom telling you a boundary has been crossed. When you let that anger move through you in the moment, it passes, it clears. As Gabor Maté puts it so beautifully, unexpressed anger doesn't just disappear, it builds, and eventually turns into rage or even something else.
There was a great neuroscientist, his name was Jaak Panksepp, who tragically died a few years ago of cancer. And he distinguished a number of brain systems that we share with other mammals. They include care, he capitalized these, C-A-R-E, care. Then something he calls grief and panic. Then fear, lust, seeking, play, and rage. These are all brain systems that we have. They're all necessary for mammalian life. They're all necessary. By rage, he means the anger that arises when our boundaries are being transgressed. If I were to infringe on your boundaries, either physically or emotionally, the healthy response for you is to mount an anger response. No, get out. Stay away. That's healthy. Healthy anger is in the moment. It protects your boundaries, and then it's gone. It's not necessary anymore. However, if your boundaries were infringed as a child, but you could not express it, it doesn't disappear. It gets suppressed. It becomes almost like a volcano that's gurgling and bubbling inside you. Now, why did you suppress it? Now, when that's happening to a small child, the last thing you can afford is to be angry. Because if you get rageful at the boundary invasion, you're going to get hurt even more. So suppressing that rage becomes a survival mechanism. Nothing wrong with it. It's the right thing to do. You don't do it, your brain will do it for you automatically as a way of preserving your life or your relative safety. But the rage doesn't go away. What happens then later on as an adult, something triggers you, and all of a sudden it just explodes out of you, and you have no control over it. Now it's no longer a response, a healthy response to the present moment, but it's a response to the past. And just as my hurt and sense of abandonment and then rage was triggered by my wife not picking me up at the airport, so a person's rage can be triggered by something relatively minor, but all of a sudden this lava flow just explodes out of you. And the difference between healthy anger and suppressing healthy anger is also unhealthy for you. But just as healthy anger expresses itself, does its job, and then it's gone, rage, the more it explodes, the bigger it gets. So that's the difference between healthy anger on the one hand, which is an essential boundary defense. And by the way, so much parenting advice in this culture tells parents to force kids to suppress their anger. Really unhealthy advice. And there's healthy anger, then there's that rage that you and I have both experienced. Look, if you're going to punch a human being and there's a pillow to punch instead, better to punch the pillow. No question about that. But as a technique of dealing with it, no, that's not how you learn to process that rage, because it needs to be processed. I would encourage you to fully experience the body experience of rage, what's happening in your body. And you'll find that it's not just an idea in your head. It's something that dominates your visceral experience of yourself. Your muscles, your breathing, your abdomen, your entire nervous system. And there's ways of just helping you experience it. There's a wonderful Buddhist lineage spiritual meditation teacher called Tara Brach, who talks about rain, recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture. So you recognize, oh yeah, this is happening in me right now. Okay, I'm going to allow it. Not allowing it in the sense of I'm going to act it out on somebody else, but I'm going to be with the experience. And then investigate, okay, what is this really all about? And then nurture that little person that had to suppress all that rage. It's a nutshell view of it. But in other words, there's ways of working with it through the body that doesn't involve either suppressing it or acting it out, but in experiencing it.